Yeah, I see it. Yeah. Something about that.
That we'll have to like do in that other room, like you can't use your.
Good morning. Hello? Hey, could you turn down the volume?
What?
All right, Wendy, we're ready to go when you are.
All right, let's do it. Good morning. I want to thank all of you for attending today's virtual Area 2 conference and for being members of the only organization whose sole purpose is protecting the benefits of our retired educators. I hope you have an informative and beneficial conference. I am Wendy Wiegers, your Area 2 representative. And before we start all of our festivities, let's say the Pledge of Allegiance. Yep. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So a little bit about me. I received my bachelor's degree from Millikan University in Decatur, Illinois, and my master's degree from Vandercook College of Music in Chicago, where I am still a graduate advisor for master's theses that are presented in July for the last 15 years. So this summer, I have 2 students that I'm working with. I have taught all grade levels of K-12 music for 22 of those years in Decatur and the last 12 in Waukegan. Currently, I am the children's choir director at St. James Lutheran Church in Lake Forest and am involved in many organizations, especially those affiliated with women and children's shelters, besides being active in my local unit, the Lake County Retired Teachers. So over on the left is our slideshow. 9 years ago, oh, go back to the other one. First one, there we go, thank you. As you are all aware, 9 years ago on May 8th, 2015, I am sure that many of you in the attendance today were responsible for supporting the IRTA Heaton versus Quinn lawsuit that the Illinois Supreme Court ruled on, stating that our pensions and benefits could not be diminished or impaired and was unconstitutional. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. But now it's my turn to try and help those who are going to be or are in the tier 2 process. And there is my family over on the screen. And on the left-hand side, the tall kid behind my husband, Dave, is my grandson, Jacob, who is a senior at Grays Lake Central High School, and he is attending Loras College in Dubuque, Illinois this fall. And he will be in the honors math education program there, as well as minoring in coaching. And he is going to be on their exceptional volleyball team. So we're very proud of him. But he's going to be in tier 2 once he starts teaching. So hopefully we can help him do that. Then my daughter, who's on the other end, his mom, she started teaching in August of 2004. So that puts her in tier 1, but I'm not sure if it'll qualify, as she quit teaching for many years so that she could raise her family and just started teaching this year as a substitute at Park School in Grays Lake. So she'll have to find out about that. Just kind of a comment for anybody who is going to be in Chicago. Over in the picture, the young man with a dog is my son, who has just opened a new restaurant. So this is like, okay. And it's a brewery called Industry Ales. And I welcome you to join him. He's at 234 Wabash next to Central Camera. And just let him know his mom sent you. All righty, next slide, please. Before we start, I would like to review some housekeeping matters with you. So all participants will remain muted to minimize background noise. But please submit all questions. Down below, there is a little chat. You can see there's already a 2 there. Button that you will press, and then you can fill in your question or comment. And then I also would like to remind you that there are going to be other area conferences that will be held during the next few weeks and also in July, and hosted by each of their area representatives. So you are welcome to attend all sessions. And when I was in the chat room, we had Brian Ward, who's from McLeansburg, from Area 6. So welcome to all of you who are not in Area 2. We love having you here, or out of towners. So next one. So as you know, our IRTA depends on our unit volunteers to help make our organization what it is today, as well as in their own units. So please continue to support your unit in any way that you can. And I would like to give a few thank yous now. The first one is to our region directors and presidents for all they have done this past year. You are truly amazing. So for those of you who don't know, if you look at that little map of Illinois, Area 2 is up in the right-hand corner there. We're probably the smallest, but have the most people. Our Region 2 director is Lois Shardiag, and our Lake County president is Debbie Lawson, and McHenry is Joanne Jazik. Area 3, Region 3 is Bob Lyons. And then in North Lake Shore, we have Kaya Rubenstein, and Northwest Suburban is Mark Bomstein. In Region 5, we have Meg Sarvik, and in Aurora areas, Dick Schindel. Now they need a new president, and so I'm hoping that you can go back to your Aurora area if you are there today, here today, and please see about finding a new president for you guys. Dick has served with such honors in the past years that I've been here, and sometimes we just need a rest. Also in DeKalb, Linda Chapman is the secretary, but she has been acting like the president for many, many years and has been the glue that has been keeping that unit open. And in Kendall, I love going and visiting Jim and Janet and Craig. I was just there last Thursday to pass out some awards for the Moeller Austin. And then in Elgin, I hope to be there tomorrow. And thank you, Lucy, for being the president. And I think we're ready for the next slide. So this is a big thank you for your IRTA committee service. Please, if I've missed some people, and I think I already have, I would like to thank Sue Green for being our foundation board member, Mark for being on our as our finance representative, Janice Clavey, Richard Chiaro, and Rose Kirk for membership benefits. Membership, Linda Young, Bob Kohler, Jeanette Warner. Leadership development, yay, Bob Kaplan, who is here. Leadership development, John Broglia. He's a new person, so welcome, John, on our leadership development for Area 2. So we really appreciate you stepping up. And for legislative, we have Charlie Carpenter, Norbert Walter, Carl Heinz Gabby, Nancy Morgan, Sid Simmons, Marty Swanson, Marna Bornstein, and the Bornsteins are on a cruise, but Mark is still here. Conrad Floater, Marlene Grossman, Mary Rothschild, and Bridget Sabika. So if I've missed anybody, please let me know so I can write them down. Next slide. And one thing about being an Area 2 rep is that I get to attend your meetings, and we are so different in Area 2. Everybody has their own schedules. Some units only meet twice or 3 times a year, but you've got lots of activities for people to do. Some units like Lake County, we meet every month except for January and July, and we have lots of speakers. But there are so many of you who do so much for your communities. So every time I go, there's always 50-50 raffles, either for your unit scholarships, for IRTA PAC, for Salvation Army, collecting school supplies, helping with food pantries, providing lap blankets, donating books to local libraries, Kids Above All, Feed My Starving Children, and the list goes on and on. And one picture that I really enjoyed in a newsletter was Meg and Kim Becker, who was representing IRTA and IRTA at the October 17 TRS Fall Retirement Information Meeting. And I thought, this is a really great idea where you have a three-sided poster there. And it was just so eye-catching. And it's like, oh, this is better than just giving them written information. So that way they can come over, they can get the information packets and so on and so forth. But I thought that was very clever of them to do that. Next, please. So basically, we would love to welcome Jessica as our new IRTA Executive Director, and thank you to our IRTA staff. And so in the spring membership recruitment, they started a campaign where they went to different, oops, I'm not on my right slide. So they went to our Freedom of Information Act and requested all superintendents across the state to request contact information for all teachers. So that was even listed on the IRTA site so that people could look and see if there are people there that they knew and contact them and so on. So once all that information was compiled, it was provided also to the local units and local unit leaders, and as teachers were, or members were asked to speak to these possible people. And so I know that at our Lake County meeting, we had several new people that were either from this list or that people had contacted personally. So welcome aboard, and we hope that you will remain a member. And then let's see. So they also do a series of personalized messages that included direct mails, social media outreach, and email messages to ensure that these new retirees are aware of IRTA. The monthly brief is hosted each month and features special guest speakers and discussion of topics that are really important to all of us. So make sure that you try to attend one of those that might be of interest. Next slide. So Mike Schmidt is our IRTA and Foundation president and chairman, and he will update us with state of the association and provide a foundation report. He will also share details of a new important member outreach that will be launched in the coming weeks. He is challenging all IRTA members to assist with making personal phone calls, because we know that sometimes a personal touch is the best way to get a new member. And thanks to all who contributed to the 2024 Foundation fundraiser. So there are 3 that are for the past, the present, and the future, and you are supporting all 3 of those. So we assist retired educators with living expenses. And we provide excellence in teaching grants to active teachers. And that is closed, and they're going to be doing that at the end of the month and start looking for those teachers who will get the grants. And then we have our IRTA scholarships to aspiring college teachers. So there you see Vanya, who is from Elgin, and she will be attending ISU as a junior and majoring in LEd, bilingual teacher education. She is a first generation college student. She has been raised with setting education as a priority, and being an educator has been her most desired ambition. As a bilingual teacher, she wants to help students embrace the beauty of their own language and teach students a new language as well. So next slide. Area 2 is also lucky to have the Moeller Austin Scholarship. And because of the generosity of retired teacher Identa Austin, who donated 80 acres of land to the IRTA, there are 2 annual $4,500 scholarships that are awarded to Kendall County High School graduates. So this year, we had over on the left is Sydney Reppy of Yorkville, who is a 21 graduate of Manuka Community High School. She is a senior currently enrolled at DePauw, where she will graduate with her bachelor's degree in secondary education English. So Sydney's future goal is to further her education and earn a master's degree while working as a teacher. Kaylee McClung of Yorkville graduated in 2023 from Yorkville High School and will be a junior at Northern Illinois University, where she will be pursuing a bachelor's degree in LEd. And her mother is a second grade teacher. And by seeing firsthand the impact of her mom that she makes on her students has inspired Kylie to become a teacher as well. So that's very special. And sadly, I just realized that I missed one of our other recipients, and I will not be able to find that. So there is the Kennedy Rose Scholarship that Unit 90 was able to present to one of their high school seniors. So congratulations to all of our Moeller Austin and Kennedy scholarships and all of them. So it's a great cause. So continue your support of Foundation, if you will. Next slide. So later on, you will be hearing from Sharon, who is our IRTA Political Action Committee Chair. And we will also hear from Larry Pfeiffer and Doug Strand for TRS and Larry Newman for AMBA. So stay tuned for those. Next. And we will also be hearing from our Leadership Development Chair, Bob Kaplan. Yay, Bob, Area 2, who will be having a roundtable discussion with IRTA officers. And I hope you enjoy that. So those are all of our executive officers, and looking forward to hearing Bob's present that. Next. And lastly, we will be doing hearing a presentation from the Illinois Department on Aging Community Programs. And our final presentation will discuss important community programs administered by the agency and much more. So without any further delay, I am happy to welcome our first speaker, IRTA President and Foundation Chair, Mike Schmidt. Mike, take it away.
Good morning. I'm Mike Schmidt, and it's a bit amazing for me to realize that I'm just about 1/4 of the way through my 2-year tenure as president of the Illinois Retired Teachers Association. Why? It seems like just last week that we had the IRTA Biennial Convention in Springfield. Last October's convention where our delegates, and perhaps you were one of them, elected the state officers for these 2 years. And now, while time marches on, here are you and I taking part in this area conference. And I'm so glad that you are. So far, I'm really enjoying this job, although using the word job is misleading since I don't get paid. I'm a volunteer. Later in today's conference, we're going to explore in some depth volunteerism. But for the moment, I'd like to let you know that over the previous 8 years, I was chair of the state membership committee. And as such, it was great to watch the state membership numbers go from about 36,000 to well over 40,000 today. Now, that increase had less to do with my being committee chair, but rather was largely due to the efforts of the state membership committee members and especially individual unit membership chairs and committees. And as you probably know, or at least would suspect, that increase also came about because of IRT members such as you. Members reaching out to former colleagues and asking them to join the only state organization that is solely dedicated to protecting our pension and health insurance benefits. Now, today, the reason that I mentioned increasing our membership is that this summer is the perfect time to bring in new members. Over 2,000 of our former colleagues just retired, so now is the perfect time to reach out to them. Now is the perfect time to ask them to join your local IRTA unit. Now is the perfect time to recruit them to join with us in the state IRTA. And as we do so, this is the perfect time to let you know about a new initiative that we are launching. Various members of the State Board of Directors and of the State Membership Committee have agreed to call new IRTA members who joined this year and welcome them to our association. Now, as you might remember from when you joined the IRTA, the Springfield office sends out a new member booklet. That booklet contains a lot of useful information. However, receiving a phone call allows a newly retired colleague to ask questions about that information or about anything else concerning the IRTA. It also gives the volunteer making the calls a chance to mention the value of joining a local IRTA unit. Oh, by the way, did you catch that word that I just used? Volunteer? Well, we'll get back to that later in the conference. Switching gears just a bit, I'd like to point out that one of the significant changes to the IRTA Constitution that was voted on by the delegates to last year's convention has to do with the makeup of 3 of the 5 state standing committees. Rather than limiting the number of members a committee has, now any member can join the legislative committee. Now any member can join the member benefits committee. Now any member can join the membership committee, and many, many members have volunteered to do so as the convention delegates had hoped. Guess what the operative word was in that last sentence? Oh yeah, volunteer. Just keep that in mind for later. One of the surprises for me when I voluntarily joined the IRTA was that there is an IRTA foundation. And one of the great things about the foundation is that it gives out money. And just to remind you about how the foundation does that, there are 3 significant categories for spending the foundation's money. Currently, there are 11 members for whom the foundation provides monetary assistance, something that all of us should be grateful for the chance to be able to do. Secondly, this year we have had 54 foundation scholarship applicants. As you might know, those who are awarded these scholarships are college students going into teaching, and who wouldn't want to help those young people? After all, we need to encourage people to replace us retirees in the classroom and eventually to join us in the IRTA. And lastly, we had an overwhelming response from active teachers who applied for the Excellence in Education grants. I enjoy seeing such enthusiasm from our colleagues in the classroom seeking opportunities for their students to have the tools they need to succeed. And hopefully you know that the money available for those 3 foundation activities does not come from our members' dues. No, it is all donated. Oh yeah, and speaking of donations to the foundation, I suspect that you realize we are in the midst of the annual foundation fundraising campaign. Yeah. So if you haven't already donated, it's not too late. If you still have the letter sent to you by the foundation that had the IRTA notepad enclosed, why, just put your donation in the envelope and send it in. Or you can go to our website at irtaonline.org. Just click on the foundation button at the top of the homepage, then scroll down to and click on the line titled Donations and Memorials. And then when that page appears, just click on the yellow donate button, take out your credit card and use it. All of the beneficiaries of the foundation, past and present, are surely grateful. There is much more important information that others will be sharing with you today, so I'd like to leave you with this thought. As your unit plans out its programs over the next year and a half, as the association president, I am always available to join in as a part of or as the unit's program. Well, that is if my wife and I are not on a cruise. But anyway, just let the Springfield office know the details so I'll know when and where to volunteer my time to your unit. Now, I'd like to introduce our next speakers, IRTA's contract lobbyist, Andrew Davis, and our new IRTA Executive Director, Jessica Hazelton. They have a legislative update for us. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Jessica Hazelton, the IRTA Executive Director, and I'm joined by Andrew Davis, the IRTA Contract Lobbyist. Thank you for attending the Area 2 virtual conference. The Illinois General Assembly adjourned the spring legislative session on May 24th of this year. Legislators are not scheduled to return to Springfield until November for the fall veto session. The veto session dates are November 12th through the 14th and the 19th through the 21st. The fall veto session is an opportunity for lawmakers to address issues that were not fully taken care of prior to the spring adjournment. And also it provides them the opportunity to address any issues, any vetoes or amendatory vetoes that may be issued by Governor Pritzker during the summer months. During the spring legislative session, legislators did approve the fiscal year 25 budget, which is a $53 billion spending plan. The budget details are included in Senate Bill 251, and this legislation was signed into law on June the 5th. The bill that's commonly referred to as the Budget Implementation Bill was also approved on June 5th, and the Budget Implementation Bill is commonly referred to as the BIMP. And this legislation includes many statutory changes that are required to implement the budget. So both of these bills, Senate Bill 251 and House Bill 4959, both include items that are of importance to IRTA members. Andrew, can you please walk us through some of the details that were included in the legislation that was approved this spring?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to start with the budget. The largest budget line in the history of the state of Illinois this year, which is the $6.2 billion for the teachers' retirement system. That actually beat the record of last year's budget. So every year we beat our own record as the largest single appropriation in the history of the state of Illinois. The total overall spending on pensions was just a little bit over $10 billion. So downstate teachers make up the lion's share of that. One thing that was brought out way back when it was much cooler than it is now in February in the governor's budget address was that this governor wanted to make some changes to pension funding. And Jessica and I, you've both been around the Capitol long enough to know, and as many of you know as well, normally when a governor says they want to make changes to pension funding, it's because they want to reduce pension funding.
It usually isn't a positive development.
No. This governor took a slightly different tact and actually wanted to increase pension funding, not immediately, but over the long term to get from 90% to 100%. And he wanted to, so we did some pension obligation bonds and stuff back in the day. Those bond payments are getting ready to expire. He wanted to commit some of that money back into the pension funds, which would have resulted in about $150 million more for TRS and about $250 million total more for pensions generally. And then use the interest off of that money to help get to 100% in 2048. Maintaining the current goal of getting to 90% 2045, but then getting to the 100% in 3 years. So we were hoping we would see that. We were advocating that we might see that in this budget. It was put on hold. It's not dead. The idea is not dead. As a matter of fact, General Assembly members are generally supportive of it, but they want to wait until they're able to figure something out on tier 2, and they can marry those two issues together. And you know, as you know, we participated in the tier 2 enhancement, but I hate to call it enhancement. Tier 2 is such a bad benefit. They're trying to bring that up so it meets federal standards on retirement security. We participated in that all last summer in subject matter hearings. We're going to participate in subject matter hearings again this summer. And we did just the House last year. We're going to be involved in the House and the Senate this year. So that's moving forward. But again, I think that's going to be a veto issue. And I think this funding change will be coupled with that.
Are there other drivers of that are encouraging enhancements to the tier 2 benefit structure aside from the federal government's concerns?
Yeah, so I mean, as many of you are aware, we're you know, the state of Illinois is continually struggling with recruitment and retention issues. I think that's part of it. I think just general fairness, right? I mean, just being decent human beings. You've got 2 teachers in a classroom, one of whom is going to have security when she retires, the other of whom isn't, right? And you know, while I think there's not a desire to replace tier 2 with tier 1. We're not going to see tier 2 eliminated, but I think there is a desire to make sure that people who retire under tier 2 aren't facing poverty. You know, that they have a reasonable security in their retirement. So I think there's just the general, just be a good human, as well as the federal government threatening Social Security action, and then also the recruitment and retention, all are combining in somewhat of a perfect storm to get this done. I'm talking about this in the context of teachers. I should be clear. This is a broader pension conversation, including state employees, university workers, right, teachers in Chicago, et cetera, and so on. So, I mean, downstate teachers all represent the largest group, but it is broader than that. So
the pension funding modification that you mentioned, coupling that with the tier 2 benefit enhancements that will likely be addressed during the fall veto session. Are legislators typically supportive of these changes, or is this going to be a difficult issue to get across the finish line?
I think yes to both questions. You know, one of the interesting things about doing pensions for 2 decades now in the state of Illinois is that the mood changes, right? It's not a straight line. You know, there are times when people are very anti-pension. I think right now with the shortage of employees, and again, that's true in classrooms, but it's true of bus drivers who might be under IRTA. It's true of state employees. You know, Department of Transportation is having a huge hiring problem right now. They're state employees. So I think it's true regardless of what subgroup of public employees we're talking about. I think that is driving home the point. And again, I think that the possible and I think it's an unlikely outcome, but the possible loss of the Social Security replacement plan status that the pension systems are facing, I think that's enough fuel. I will say, in the House, there was a small bill for police officers and firefighters. It was a tier 2 fix for police officers and firefighters. It passed the House unanimously. Not one Republican voted no, not one Democrat voted no. Now, it was not nearly as big of a thing, but it does indicate to us that I think there is support on both sides of the aisle, and I think there's support in both
And maybe a
chambers.
general understanding that this has to be addressed.
Right. Even the not smart ones, I think, get it.
That's good. Always good to hear.
So yeah, so I think that's where we're at on budget, sorry.
So what else was included this year that's of interest
Well,
to our members?
You mentioned the BIP bill, and it's funny because normally we don't care that much about the BIP bill. And when we have cared in the past, we've almost always opposed whatever change they're proposing in it. So again, this year was like, it was the upside down a little bit in a good way. Normally these are more negative. This is all upside down, but maybe it's right side up. Maybe it's been upside down. So the budget implementation bill did a couple of things. One, it extended the subject shortage return to work for the full 176 days, 180 days. So right now, you can return to work as a teacher under the standard law is 100 days, but we've been successful in extending that to 120 days. So limited return to work. You can't come back a full year. But in a subject shortage area, you can return for the full year as a retiree and not jeopardize your pension. This has been extended a few times in the past. It was extended again. And again, that was a positive. It's not something that everybody in every school district is taking advantage of, but it is good for those school districts that find themselves in a problem.
Are there a number of the subject shortage areas throughout the state?
Yeah, it could be math, it could be science, it could be language, it could be any variety. The school district has to demonstrate that it is a subject shortage. They have to show that they've advertised the position over a period of time, that they've been unable to get applicants. So they do have to, and they do all of that with the teachers' retirement system. They provide all of the evidence that they tried to fill it and they can't. And these are largely rural districts historically, but I gotta be honest, I mean, more and more, it could be anywhere in the state of Illinois. You know, we tend to think of it as a more rural district, but right now it's just hard to get teachers and teachers with special demands like math, science, language, which even can be more difficult. So again, not huge utilization, but an important addition. The other, I think, big change, something that we've talked about at IRTA for a long time, I mean, really since I started here many years ago, and that's dental and vision benefits for retired teachers. So right now, retired state employees get dental and vision benefits, retired community college employees get dental and vision, retired university employees get dental and vision. Not to say teachers have never gotten dental or vision through their trip and trail program.
Right.
And so we were part of a group that was able to, and oddly enough, CMS was supportive of it, and this governor was supportive of it, which is refreshing and good. But we laid the earliest groundwork on getting this change into place. So the first thing that you need when you want dental and vision program is to pass the statute that allows the agency to actually go about the work of doing it. You know, I mean, this is in some respects almost the architectural drawing. The house is a little ways off from being built, but we've got a concept of what we're heading towards, and we can start to break ground. As a matter of fact, I think you were in a meeting with CMS recently where they discussed this.
Yes, so the group insurance division advisory council met this week to discuss this change. They were reporting on what happened during the spring, and they were outlining the implementation of when we can expect this to be available to our IRTA members. And the announcement that was made yesterday was that for those who are on trail, they will be able to access these benefits January 1, 2025 for that benefit year. The timeline's a little bit different, they said, for those trip members, and they're hopeful that these benefits will be accessible by May 1st of 25. Even though, you know, that's what was said yesterday in this meeting, I do think that it's important that IRTA members who are currently getting dental and vision through us, through your membership, should be cautious about making any sudden changes. These timelines can fluctuate a little bit depending on how quickly CMS can get to work. And I just want to stress that information will be provided from us when it's time for you to consider making changes and to let you know when these benefits will be accessible.
And I think CMS has said they'll make sure we know well in advance so that we're able to educate the members before so they can prepare for any changes they might have to make. And I think they've also said, don't do anything different than what you're doing now.
Right. And I think the specific bill language in the BEP said that the expectation would be benefits available after January 1st. So this is great news, but also exercise caution in making any sudden changes, especially if you're seeing your dentist next week.
Right. So anyway, obviously we'll keep everybody apprised of that, but again, very positive change there. I think that's the,
there was one other change I believe we reported on, and it was the comptroller, an initiative of Comptroller Mendoza to make a few tweaks to her ability to make payments to TRS.
Yep, absolutely. So the comptroller, so the state of Illinois isn't like a retired teacher, right? They don't get one check a month for all of their money for that month, right? They get a lot of money in some months and they get no money in some months and they get a little bit of money in other months. And so what will happen is the comptroller maybe gets a bunch of money in September and then October and November are very light. She has to budget that money and she keeps that in her account and, pays for the next 3 months out of that. Well, instead of having it in her account where it gets a very low rate of interest or no rate of interest, she wanted to be able to prepay the pension funds. It can then sit in their account, like at TRS, for instance, it can earn 7.25% is their estimated rate of return. So this isn't going to change the world. It's not going to make TRS 100% funded tomorrow. But it is going to allow them to get a little extra income, which will improve their cash flow and even out those payments and improve their asset position over time. So certainly applaud Comptroller Mendoza for thinking of this. It's sort of the old adage, you get to $1 billion, $1 million at a time. But again, nothing but good news there. Not going to change everything, but an improvement nonetheless. So.
Will that have any impact at all on, supposing that Governor Pritzker's proposed pension payment modification is approved to 100% funding by 2049? Will the comptroller's initiative play into that at all, or will it just be maybe an enhancement?
Yeah, no, it absolutely will. It absolutely will. So. What happens is, the best way I can think of it is we think of it in a home loan capacity, right? You've got a 30-year mortgage, you're going to be 100% funded in 2050, that's your 30-year mortgage. That, it doesn't change that. So we're still going to be 90% in 2045, or we would still, under the governor's proposal, be 100% in 2048. But it's like you got a slightly better interest rate. That's kind of the comparable to what the comptroller is doing. So your monthly payment, how much you have to pay every month to get to the 90% or 100% would go down a little bit. So it becomes a little bit more affordable. That's the real benefit, is it just takes some of that steady climb out of the graph, flattens it out a little bit.
Right. Thank you for explaining that and tying those two together. I think that covers the state Illinois General Assembly legislative update. The one federal concern that's an ongoing issue of importance to us is the windfall elimination provision and the government pension offset. By way of a quick update regarding those federal policies, there is an effort within Congress to repeal both of those policies. And the legislation aimed at the repeal is H.R. 87, and it is commonly referred to as the Social Security Fairness Act. There is a companion bill in the Senate. The Senate bill is 597 and the House version is HR 82. Both of these provisions or both of these pieces of legislation have many co-sponsors on both sides of the aisle. There was a hearing this spring. The United States House Ways and Means Committee held a subject matter hearing to discuss the potential repeal of these issues. The committee heard testimony from proponents, from opponents, and they really did a deep dive into the purpose of how these policies came to be approved in the first place and options for addressing the issues that are facing many retirees with public pensions. Unfortunately, at that hearing, there was not any specific timeline for addressing that issue. And at this time, what we're being told that we need to do, our action item, is just to continue talking to our congressmen and letting them know that we are supportive of addressing that very important issue. So in terms of the federal legislative update, that's all that I have there. And just so that we're aware of all the timelines, like I said at the beginning, legislators will not return to session until November, but between now and November, the attention will be focused on the November 5th general election. So that's where everyone's attention will be geared towards. So if there aren't, do you have anything else to add, or are we ready to take some questions?
Ready to take questions.
If anyone has any questions, please feel free to use the chat feature, and Andrew and I would be happy to address anything that that maybe we didn't cover, or if you need some clarification on anything that we said today, we'll be happy to do that.
While they're typing, I did make one omission. When I said that we were fully funded on the pensions for this year under the budget, I didn't say that, so that we are also fully funded on the trail program. So
That's right.
full funding across the board.
That's a great clarification there. Thank you for.
We tend to loop them together as one, but they aren't legally, they're different.
Right. And so far, we don't have any questions.
Wow, we must be good.
You must have done a really good job today. Well done, Jessica.
I got a question in area 1, so I will answer this now. Somebody, and I know you remember, somebody had asked about, did the governor do extra money this year like he has in the last 2 years? So even though you didn't ask, I will answer because it was a great question then. There is not the additional money. It is the total amount, 100% of what was owed, but no additional. The reason the additional went away is because that was coming from federal sources during the pandemic relief funds from the federal government. Those federal sources went away. So no extra money, but 100% of what was needed.
When might we receive information about dental and vision insurance from either TRS or CMS?
You probably won't receive much information from TRS other than and we anticipate it will, that the premium might change slightly because of these additional benefits. You, by and large, probably getting most of the information from CMS. I think it'll be included in the information they send in their benefits choice communications that you guys get every year for the benefits choice period. So it'll be communicated in there. We've been told, although I can't promise, I can just say what we've been told, that will be included in that information. I would probably look for the first barrage of the information coming from IRTA, something that interests you. I would rely. You'll get the earliest information about it from us, and then follow-up information from CMS with maybe some more specifics.
And I think the specific timeline for when you can expect that will be dependent on CMS's ability to get the program up and running. So if they are able to maintain the benefit access timeline that they described in the meeting that I recently attended, you would expect to hear and receive information late summer to early fall. However, if they're not able to have that benefit accessible at their self-imposed timeline of January 1st, then the expectation would be that you would get more information, in the spring of 25. But all of this information, like, we will keep you updated on the status. So I would say that it's safe for us to say today that you'll hear more about this late summer, early fall, as things, continue to come together.
But another reason to keep an eye on the IRTA communications that are going out through the summer.
Correct. And we still don't have any other questions, so one thing that we are working on right now is, the IRTA Political Action Committee has launched our 2024 candidate endorsement process. So our next speaker is Sharon Teefee, the IRTA PAC Committee Chair, and she will talk a little bit about the endorsement process and where we are with the Political Action Committee. So thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Andrew, for sharing your expertise, and we will turn it over to Sharon.
I'm Sharon Teefee, your IRTA PAC Committee Chairperson. I am grateful for the opportunity to serve as your IRTA PAC Chairperson. I remain committed to working with committee volunteer members, IRTA leadership, and staff to ensure that the importance of IRTA PAC remains top of mind as an important IRTA member benefit. To continue to be successful, we need your help. Our goal is simple, but powerful: to make a lasting impact on retirement policies and the benefits of retired teachers through community engagement, advocacy, and fundraising efforts. The IRTA PAC exists to elect, educate, and build rapport with legislators who understand the importance of preserving pensions and healthcare benefits, and elect those who make pension and healthcare funding a priority in our state's fiscal policies. The decisions made by our elected officials directly impact the policies and benefits we each receive. By actively participating in the political process and supporting initiatives such as IRTA PAC, we help shape legislation that affects our well-being and the future IRTA members' well-being. IRTA PAC kicked off our major political engagement initiative of the year, the 2024 general election candidate endorsement process. The IRTA PAC committee created a candidate questionnaire that was sent to every single candidate, Republican, Democrat, and third-party candidate who will be on the November 5th, 2024 general election ballot. A return questionnaire is an IRTA requirement for endorsement consideration. Our goal is to put every candidate on record stating their support for protecting our pensions and our health care. Throughout the summer months, we will meticulously examine the answers provided on the return questionnaires. We will solicit feedback from our local units, consider voting records, and we will seek advice from our IRTA's committed government affairs team. The IRTA PAC committee's recommended endorsements will center exclusively on candidates who stand with us on our two primary concerns, pensions and health care. We will not consider their positions on other issues such as public education, environmental issues, or taxes. The IRTA PAC committee will approve or deny recommendations by means of majority vote. The IRTA PAC committee chair will submit for review all recommendations for endorsement to the IRTA PAC board of directors. The IRTA PAC board of directors will make the final recommendations. Once endorsed, a candidate will be notified via congratulatory letter and will receive the IRTA logo for use on marketing materials, a press release, and in some cases, a financial contribution. The second phase of the IRTA PAC committee's political engagement is purposeful: interaction with lawmakers. I encourage each of you to proactively initiate and arrange meetings with legislators when they're home in their district offices. This is particularly important after the general election is concluded and we shift our focus to establishing relationships with newly elected members of the Illinois General Assembly. It is vital that we personally convey to them the significance of our pledged pensions and affordable health care in shaping our lives and our retirements. The time has come to return to our roots and educate for the future, a future that is ours. Our state office staff stands with you with the latest information on fundraising events and social gatherings in your area. It is paramount to our continued legislative success that the IRTA maintain a strong political action committee. To that end, we need to work together and educate our fellow retirees on the vital role IRTA PAC plays in advocating for the rights and benefits of retired educators. The IRTA PAC is funded by voluntary contributions from IRTA members, just like you and me. By contributing to the IRTA PAC, you are playing a vital role in raising political awareness among IRTA members and enhancing our engagement with elected officials. Financially, we have observed a concerning trend. The IRTA PAC fund stands at $170,300. This is a noticeable decline in revenue over previous years. This dip coincides with the decline in membership of the $1 per month club. To truly affect change, we need to recommit to our fundraising efforts. To combat this trend, the IRTA PAC committee will initiate ongoing outreach to promote the $1 per month deduction for IRTA PAC and will market this program throughout the year. By reaching out to local units and members through personalized correspondence, we will hopefully encourage more of you to join the Dollar Club or to make a contribution. To that end, if you think you are a member of the $1 per month club, now is a great time to confirm your participation. IRTA members can contact the IRTA office and staff will be able to confirm your participation. If you aren't currently signed up, staff can walk you through the simple process or mail you a deduction form. You can also sign up by visiting the website shown on your screen. All members who sign up for the $1 per month club will receive an IRTA PAC lapel pin. I'd like to share my personal story of checking in to confirm my participation in the $1 per month club. As a lifelong advocate of public education, I knew as I grew closer to retirement that I wanted to join IRTA for their unwavering advocacy on behalf of my pension and my health care benefits. I took advantage of the IRTA pipeline membership by signing up in advance of my retirement. I also filled out the IRTA PAC donation form. After retirement, I knew my TRS statement reflected my monthly IRTA dues deduction, but it never occurred to me that my $1 a month club was not included. A glitch had occurred. The good news? It was easily remedied by filling out a new PAC donation form, and IRTA staff confirmed my enrollment with TRS. Now, I can proudly say that I see my monthly TRS statement reflect my IRTA dues deduction and my $1 per month IRTA PAC donation. Now I proudly say that I see my monthly TRS statement reflect my IRTA dues deduction on one line and my $1 per month IRTA donation on another line. The morals of the story: never assume. Things happen. There's an easy fix, lesson learned, and now shared. Contributing to IRTA PAC is simple, and every contribution makes a difference in advancing the protections of our pension and healthcare benefits. For this reason, I ask you, I urge you to join the 5,000 plus members who already contribute to the IRTA PAC $1 a month club. Through our financial support of IRTA PAC, we ensure that IRTA has the resources to continue fighting for the benefits we earned and we deserve. By working together and speaking with one collective voice, the 40,000 plus members of the IRTA will continue to maintain our presence as a powerful advocate on behalf of the Illinois retired educator community. Let's continue to do what we do best: educate others through effective advocacy. In closing, our united efforts and unwavering dedication will shape a brighter future for retirees. We must continue our diligent efforts by attending fundraising events, contributing to the monthly dollar deduction, and spreading our message among local units. By working together, we will safeguard our pensions and our health care benefits. Thank you for your continued support and dedication to the IRTA Political Action Committee. Have a great summer. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce our next speakers. TRS annuitants Larry Pfeiffer and Doug Strand, who will provide you with an important TRS update. Larry, Doug?
I know.
Jeez.
I know.
Larry,
Hey.
Hey.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
it's good to see you. What happened?
Oh, local meeting got tied up. I know. You're waiting on. We still got time to practice it.
We got time to practice.
sure?
This would be great because Jessica wants us to kind of get it somewhat prepared.
All right, let me catch my breath. How you been?
Good, long time, from Rock Island County, couple hour trip, but got here a little early, so I knew you were gonna be just a hair late.
Yeah. Good meeting. Good.
oh.
Look what I brought. Brought the props we've been
Let's,
talking about, okay?
let's do it.
You still want to do the 4 things we talked about?
Sure.
Timeline.
Timeline, no rope.
Oh, I gotta use the rope. I'm an old.
Okay, use the rope.
They cut it out.
We
if they
can
don't
try,
like it.
we can try.
Timeline. Then we're gonna talk about what, the board itself.
The
their
15-member
players, and
board.
Okay,
Who's what? One of us will do that.
investments and what we're doing.
Yeah, fixed income, private
Yeah,
equity,
okay,
all that stuff.
You're good at that. And then let's finish up with diversity, equity, inclusion, and those kind of things.
We can do, you
They like
can,
us talking about that,
you're,
okay?
you're good at that.
All right,
Okay.
let me go to the
See what we got.
props.
Sure.
Let me go to the props. My grandson helped me.
Your grandson?
Yeah,
Oh, great.
you'll
That's
see some of
right.
these
He's
things
what?
will-
How old is he?
Three.
Wow.
He's a real visual learner. So
Okay.
you've heard about my rock, haven't you?
The Rock, just like what TRS is.
Yeah. You know how it got here?
Where'd it come from?
The glacier brought it. I'm not kidding you.
The
I
glacier,
found this in my backyard. This rock isn't native. It came somewhere probably around you, Northern Illinois,
Northern Illinois.
about 100,000 years ago. It dropped it down. So I thought, this is our rock.
This is the Rock.
This is going to hold what you don't like the string, but we're going to do it anyway, guys.
Hold the string. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. You want me, what do you want me to
Do me a
do?
favor, kind of wrap that around it, set it
All
down.
right.
And this is going to represent the year that TRS was
Started.
legislated. and started.
Yes.
Put it down there.
Okay.
All right. Here's what you don't like. I know, man.
I know.
TRS. When it was started, actually TRS started at the same time it had to,
In the year
1939.
1939.
And guess what? In 1939, I got a couple stickers here.
I'm gonna-
Yeah, let's put them out here, okay? 1939 TRS, put that on the rock, would you please?
Put that on the Rock. Okay.
4% contribution. You know what it is today?
Well, yeah, 9%.
Exactly. All right, you're liking the
I
timeline.
like it. Okay.
1994, remember that?
1994, 50-year
Pension ramp.
pension ramp.
Put
Yeah.
that down there. Sometimes called the Edgar pension ramp.
Edgar. Yes, I
So you know
remember.
what?
What?
We're 30 years into a 50-year ramp?
Yes.
All right. 1998, remember the 2.2 contributions?
I did that.
I
When
did
I
too.
was working, we were, yeah,
I did
2.2.
too. All right.
Oh, yes, 2010.
Why don't you,
Tier 2 started
tier 2 started?
January 1st, 2011.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's another milestone, dude.
Very important.
What is it?
2015.
ILC, Illinois Supreme Court did a ruling, said pensions may not be.
Diminished nor impaired.
Right.
It was what? Unanimous.
Yeah.
Because the state was going to ask us to take either our 3% or our healthcare, and we already had that.
Right.
Why take it away?
It was an important point. Art.
Yes, very
I think
important.
you're like my timeline. Be honest,
I like the timeline.
this is today,
Today.
where we're at. And
Oops.
then, oh yeah, watch your coffee.
Sorry.
And the nice thing about the pension system, it slides with it. It can't go backwards, right?
Correct.
TRS
Correct.
is here today. I got 2 more in the future.
The foundation,
You
yes.
want to think that far out? 2045.
Oh, I heard about that. I
I'll put
heard
them over
about that. Yeah, well, down here, 2045.
So we're going to
the-
be 90% funded in 2045,
Is that just TRS or all 5 public pensions?
TRS.
TRS.
Well,
I-
let's just
I-
speak to TRS,
Let's
okay?
stick with TRS.
Also, where we at today? What's our funding level?
44%.
And here's what I'm going to do. Let's use this as a graph and go like 44% funding off of that line.
Mhm.
90% would what be over here?
Whoa,
We got a ways to go. don't we?
ways to go. Long play to go.
I got one more. I'll put that out in a minute, okay?
Okay.
I think of this line, you're over on the active side,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Because you're spending your money, you're putting it into
I'm an
TRS,
active retiree.
you're putting money in.
Putting money in,
Putting money in on
Nine.
that side of the equation.
9%.
I'm on this side of the equation as an annuitant. I'm taking money out.
Whoa. I am an annuitant, but yes, I'm acting as an active teacher, of which there
Understand.
are
are 169,000. And
About 100 and what on this,
31 retirees like us.
right, over
And in
here,
the middle, there's some inactive people.
look here. My grandson had a great idea.
Oh, my gosh.
These can be our inactives. They're
Inactive.
setting this one out, okay?
They're sitting that out.
But yet they have put money in the system,
They have put money in the system,
right?
147,000 some.
Yeah. Where are the four sources that money comes into the system? Teachers?
Teachers,
Yep.
state,
State,
schools.
schools. What's our job?
Oh, yeah, TRS. We have to take the
Invest.
money that we have gotten from all of the active and all the active teachers and make sure we make money.
If we just left the money on the table and drug it this direction, what's going to happen?
Inflation, it would lose value.
Yeah.
As an economics teacher, you would lose value.
So and they always talk about buckets, and I'm just an old country boy, so I brought buckets.
Okay, which there are many,
Oh,
but they all go in.
I brought buckets,
You brought buckets. so the
different
kids-
shapes and sizes.
All right.
And you know, when they talk about risk, they're always saying, hey, you want good returns, but yet I thought about this. That's pretty risky, isn't it?
If it's on the side like that, yes.
Especially since we have to
Balance,
and get up a rate of return of 7%.
we okayed that.
We did.
We make sure our assumed rate of return is, the risk is around 7%.
7%, which is one of our jobs.
Which
as a
sometimes-
trustee.
Sometimes more, sometimes less. And
Go,
TRS, from all our meetings, when the market goes way up, we may not get near the top, but on the way down,
our buckets are set up for
we
that.
are set up for that so that we don't lose as much as everybody else.
It's kind of like this.
It
Right.
is a little bit,
Where
yes,
some of them are down here losing, others are
winning.
winning.
So we've always been over 20, 30 years, we've been getting around.
9%, that direction.
Yes,
Looking back in time, 9%.
yes, which has not been bad,
Not been bad, but
which makes us
it's harder.
It
and
is.
harder
We
and
need-
harder
harder and harder
to
to,
hold it up here.
yes, it is.
We can invest our way out of this.
No,
Correct.
no.
Okay, can we set the table down for a minute?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Buckets, equities, right? Big amount, public and private
Public,
equities.
private equities,
We got some fixed income.
fixed income,
We've got real assets
real assets, real
and diversifying strategies.
diversified strategies. right?
And within those, there are dozens and dozens and dozens and
What was it,
lots.
172 or 100 some
172, and I'm going to use,
money managers across the
managers.
world
yeah,
to help us make money?
these are money managers right here. I don't put them in, I put them underneath.
Okay,
Makes sense? And now let's talk a little bit around this orbit here.
okay.
I'm standing right here in the middle of the TRF staff orbit.
Mhm.
You know, we got our 220 employees and tons of consultants, and they kind of help us pick out the money managers,
The right managers.
the right managers.
They're vested and stress tested.
Yeah. You know, something else Illinois does? Well, you know this.
Why, go ahead.
There's only two ways to put the cards down, right? Face down and face up.
Correct?
Some states say face down. We don't care.
No
Illinois, we want cards up.
transparency.
We want to know women, minority-owned, disability
those.
firms.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, Illinois, and let me go over here again. You can stand there. You
Okay.
can be a member of the General Assembly. That's the General Assembly,
I'll be the general
the
assembly.
governor, the,
Representatives, the
Yeah.
senators.
they're the ones that did all this, right?
They're
Those leg-
responsible for
Those
all that.
legislative initiatives. They're the ones that said, okay, TRS and other pension systems, put those cards up. We want to know. Our goal is what,
22% or so, but we're at,
29,
yes,
29% women.
funded, yeah,
Of
Of
women,
our-
minority-owned
of the
disabilities,
big bucket,
of all the buckets.
all the buckets.
All the buckets. I
Okay.
think we've done pretty good explaining that. You know what we haven't spent a lot of time doing? Why don't you come up to the front here? You and I have been talking as old buddies. We're not talking it as annuitants,
Okay,
or excuse me, we're not talking as trustees.
as trustees.
We can't.
No,
But when we get together as a board, we got what? Two annuitants, two on this side of the
two
line.
retired people.
Yep, we're over here. And on that side of the line, the actives, we got 5
5 active teachers in Illinois
from the classroom.
from the classroom.
And then the governor appoints,
Yeah, there are 8 political appointees from the governor's
including the
office, which is a total of
15? Yeah,
yeah,
7?
15.
And we do money. We do money.
Team.
So
Okay.
that's the makeup of the board. And
Correct.
I really did a deep dive on what we do when we're in this circle.
When we're over here, yes.
We certify the statutory rate as well as the actuarial rate. That's,
Extra from, yes,
we certify the insurance.
correct.
We set probably the biggest fight and the only disagreement I've ever had with you over time, and probably still will, is what is going to be our
Our-
anticipated rate of return.
Our assumed rate of return.
Yes.
Which is at 7. Good.
I think we better spend some time saying we don't come in with a whiteboard and an idea and scratch our head.
We could, yeah.
We hear hours and hours and hours of,
Yes, we spend a lot of hours and I give you a lot of credit and the people who are on that board, the time and effort they put into protecting our pensions and benefits.
but getting that rate of return is really important because if we lower it just 1/4%,
Yes.
it costs the state millions of dollars, hundreds of millions. of
State
dollars.
would have to kick in more money, yes.
But it's something we got to get right.
We have to get very good. And those people at TRS, as you said, do a very good job of protecting us.
They do. They invest us well.
Okay.
And the last job that we do from this group is kind of determine the buckets.
Yes,
Oh, buckets.
buckets. Uh-oh.
I brought this too, because some of the investment, we got to put a lid on those buckets.
Yes, in a certain level.
I did that one time with a group. I said, it's got to be liquid. The money we have coming in
Yes.
has to go out. Some of these investments are great investments with huge returns, but we don't get them till over here.
They're farther out, long-term investments. These have to be liquid, short-term, so that we have enough cash in order for TRS to send us our direct deposits.
I think that is about it, Doug. Oh, on the way up, I thought of something.
Okay,
Do you think we can work in? I'm not a part of the defined contribution.
oh, the
System.
DC plan, defined contribution, the SSP 457
supplemental
plan
thing.
for active teachers.
Those active teachers can
Yes.
put money, but I brought this because this money won't fit in there. Makes sense?
Good point.
This money goes into our different buckets.
Yes.
What can we tell them about the supplemental savings plan?
I wish we had it years ago when we were younger. And it is an opportunity for those people to put 3% if they're in the program as of January 2021. Or just recently, they have to be in there,
It's an opt.
but
out
they can
program.
opt out. Yeah.
Yeah,
They don't, if they
If
don't have to,
They're automatically enrolled, right?
they would be wise to get into it. And we have what, 13, 14 different areas and part of BlackRock, different categories and all this stuff, large cap, small cap, money markets. And we have, what was the recent number? Was it so many million?
200 or 20? It starts with a 2.
It is start with a 2. We'll have to check that out.
The reason I don't remember it that much is I just know that TRS money can't go in here and vice
No.
versa.
It's 2 separate accounts.
Don't they even,
They're individual accounts
Okay.
that they direct themselves, that TRS and Voya have put together a plan for them to supplement their
Okay.
TRS. Now, TRS is
falls
good.
on TRS's table?
It does come on our table to
Okay.
discuss, yeah.
And don't we separate out the staff fees and everything else? In other words, TRS,
is.
no money's going into that. Okay.
Those active teachers will have to pay a small fee, but it's smaller than they'll ever have to pay to guarantee future income for them.
Okay.
It's
Thank
a
you.
great program that you were there. I was
know,
there.
I know, but you explain it better than me. And hopefully
started
we
it.
can work that in our presentation because I think
That'd be
that's
good.
important.
I think it would be good to let the retired people who
Yeah,
are
we need to.
going to see that presentation tell their friends.
I've only got one other thing.
What else we got?
Lately, the governor has said, let's not worry about 2045 at 90%. Why don't we talk about 100% at 2048?
That's what he proposed.
And that's all I know is they're having conversations.
Conversations.
I've been telling teachers kind of watch that space.
Okay.
Watch that space because there's conversations. When we were at the board meeting, we've had 2 presentations on safe harbor and tier 2,
Yes,
one from an attorney and one from actuarials. I just know the conversation's going on.
it's going on in Springfield and people don't realize that TRS can't change that. Springfield has to change that.
The spot you're standing in, the
My
elected
spot,
officials,
the
the
elected
governors,
officials, yes.
they're the ones that have set up these timelines.
Mhm.
They're the ones that have set up these initiatives. We just deal with those
Exactly.
3 things there.
Exactly. I think the rope was okay.
It's going to work, you think?
I think so.
All right, let me catch my breath.
And then we'll get ready.
Yeah, I gotta get my
We'll
tie
tell,
on and
tell
stuff.
Jess that we're ready to
I
roll.
think, you think we're going to do okay?
Boy, I hope so. No one's seen this yet, but I hope so. Hope we can go through it again and do
You
a
ever
good
get
job.
nervous on one of these presentations?
Not really.
Oh, yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah.
No
I
way.
didn't even eat lunch today. I'm serious.
They have lunch upstairs, I believe. You are very good at what you do.
Is that camera on?
What?
I'm Bob Kaplan, and I'm proud to serve as the chair of the newly created Leadership Development Committee. The Leadership Development Committee is responsible for succession planning for the leadership of the association. The committee is also responsible for soliciting candidates for leadership roles and to prepare a slate of candidates for elected IRTA positions, including those joining me today: President Mike Schmidt, Vice President Rainey Kaplan, and Treasurer Donnie Ostrom. This year, the Leadership Development Committee is being driven by the 3 I's: interest, information, and involvement. The committee consists of Gail Wright from Area 1, Ray Kaufman, Area 3, Gene Sowers from Area 4, David Savage from Area 5, and Area 6 by Diane Kunkel. At this time, there is a vacancy for Area 2. So if anybody out there is interested, please let us know at the IRTA office. Right now, our committee is trying to locate members who are interested in volunteering. We need members for us to inform and answer questions about IRTA so we can encourage them to pursue leadership opportunities. Volunteer leaders are the backbone of our advocacy, our initiatives, and our community. If you have considered lending your expertise, your vision, your voice to help shape the future of IRTA, now's the time. We're looking for strategic thinkers, team builders, and inspirational leaders who want to help foster connections, spearhead initiatives, and assist in leading IRTA on a continued path to success and strength on behalf of Illinois' retired educators. IRTA Secretary LaVon Cheney recently stated, "I have volunteered for IRTA and am serving as an officer as I believe that the IRTA is the one and only organization that is working for me and my benefits as a retired teacher. IRTA has also allowed me to become a part of a network of retired teachers that I may never have had the opportunity to meet and learn from." And also, immediate past president Bill Funkhauser had this to say, "Shortly after I retired, I received a call from a gentleman who was the cooperating teacher for my student teaching. And the gentleman who was my 4th, 5th, and 6th grade PE teacher asked me to join the Madison County RTA and the state IRTA, which I did. They also encouraged me to not just be a member, but to get involved in leadership. Less than a year later, we learned that we would lose our health insurance from TRS due to the underfunding. They asked me to join them in going to Springfield to lobby for health insurance, and as a result, the TRIP plan was created. I saw the need to take an active part in the efforts to protect our pensions and our health insurance benefits. I volunteered and became a member of the legislative committee. Later, I was asked by the area representative who was planning to run for treasurer if I would consider running for the area representative position. I became the area representative, then later vice president, and finally as president. It has been very rewarding and satisfied serving IRTA members in these positions. One of the things I find most enjoyable is meeting and getting to know dedicated IRTA members from all over the state. I would encourage everyone to get involved, whether it be in your local unit, as a state committee member, or even as a state officer. I want to thank LaVon and Bill for sharing their personal stories of pursuing opportunities to lead IRTA into the future. I'm excited to be joined today by the IRTA Vice President and Treasurer who responded yes to the invitation to serve in a leadership capacity for the Illinois Retired Teachers Association. At this time, I would like to ask the IRTA volunteer leaders from the association to share with the audience what is their why for volunteering their time to the IRTA. At this time, I think I'm going to start here with Donnie Ostrom. Donnie, what is your why for why you started to get active in the association?
I first got involved in our local unit, which is Clinton County Retired Teachers. And then I saw the need for people to be involved at all levels. They passed tier 2. And I looked at what teachers were going to receive from that tier 2 level passage. And it just seemed it was time to make sure that we protected our pension and benefits. I got a call from a fellow by the name of Bob Pinkerton, who was president of the IRTA at the time. And he called me up and he said, I have a job for you. And I said, well, what is that, Bob? And Bob said, I need a regional director. Little did he tell me I'd spend 6 years as the regional director. And when that finished, I became the treasurer when our other treasurer decided it was time to hang it up. And fortunate enough, I have been here. This is 5 years. I have one more, which will be 6. And really, it's paying it forward that those teachers who joined after 2010, the passage of tier 2, they need someone to help speak for them. And I see that as an important part of my job.
Well, thank you. And in fact, we're very happy that you came to the association and are doing a fine job as our treasurer.
Thank you, Bob.
At this time, I'd like to toss it over to Rainey Kaplan. What was your why for joining the association?
Well, last May, when I was getting ready to retire, there was never a doubt in my mind that I was going to join the IRTA. In fact, my husband, Bob, gifted me with a lifetime membership in both my state and local IRTA unit. So I was very excited there. One of the first emails I got was a Google form saying, hey, do you want to volunteer for something? I'm a person who jumps into the deep end, no matter what, organization I'm in. So I said, why not? I filled out the form. I found out that the IRTA was in desperate need of needing a vice president. And so I said, sure, why not? And so I became the vice president. Luckily, I have a lot of good mentors in, Mike, Donnie, Bob, Roger, Bill, Levon. Everybody's willing to help me out with any questions I might have. So that's kind of took the fear out of doing that. I really do have a unique story. Not everybody becomes vice president in their first year of being in an organization. But I feel like everybody needs to join and help out somewhere. The organizations and associations can't thrive without volunteerism, whether it's an hour of making phone calls, answering emails, writing emails, knocking on doors, helping to organize a function. I think that's just really important. So that's why I did it.
Well, thank you. And thank you for being in the deep end. At this time, I think I'm going to ask our president, Mr. Mike Schmidt, to tell us what his why is.
Yeah. Maybe it's a character flaw. I know it isn't genetic, but all my life I've volunteered to help out with things. And when I retired, I didn't have a choice. My wife had just retired before I had. My mother had retired many years before. Both of them were members of the IRTA, and so I joined the IRTA. And it didn't take me long to realize that even though I belong to the Blackhawk unit, which is a pretty sizable unit up in Rock Island County, there's still a lot of opportunities to help out. And I started off on the membership committee, and then I became the membership committee chair, and then vice president and president. And when my presidency of the unit ended in a 2-year term, I said to Bob Pinkerton, do you have any positions available where I can help out at the state level? And he immediately appointed me to the Constitution Committee. And then shortly after that, I became chair of the membership committee. And as I said, maybe it's a character flaw, but I just believe in volunteering and helping out. And as a history teacher, a former history teacher, one of my favorite quotes is from John Adams. And Adams said, there are only 2 creatures of value on the face of the earth, those with commitment and those who require the commitment of others. And I prefer to be in the former. After my presidency is over, I'm sure I'll find something to volunteer to help out with yet. So that's where I was.
And of course, now what we'd like to offer you is a chance for you to commit to the organization as a volunteer to assist us in getting this association to even better spot than it is today. So thank you for sharing your personal stories and also saying yes when you were called upon to join me today for this little sharing of what your whys were. And now I think I'm going to turn it over to that man, the myth, the legend, Larry Newman over at AMBA.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Bob. Always appreciate your introductions. And it was great to see, so far everybody on the call today. Some great information. Wendy, always love being at part of your meetings as well. It's really awesome to be here and much appreciative. I just want you guys to know how much we here at AMBA appreciate the partnership that we have. We've been working with the Illinois retired teachers now, gosh, since basically since year 2000. The relationship has gotten better and better every single year. We have really just continued to focus on membership for this group. Our goal is to try to exceed 1,200 new members this year. And we're well on our way to be doing that once again. And through a lot of different ways of being able to accomplish that. One of the big ways that we've been doing it is through webinars. As you know, there's a monthly webinar series that has been going really, really well. We're really excited about it. And I hope that not only existing members, but it's such a great way to bring new members into the association, to invite somebody that you know to the monthly webinar series. So that has been going extremely well for us and for the Illinois retired teachers. Speaking at seminars, local unit meetings, and I do have a couple of things I'd like to share with you. So I'm going to share a screen real quickly. And I happened to be speaking to a potential member recently who lives in my neighborhood. And, she is a very soon to be retired teacher from Waukegan High School. So I shared this with her, this first little slide, and sent this over to her when we went through it and talked about, ways that we help to strengthen associations. And most importantly, obviously in Illinois, that would be the Illinois retired teachers. We do a lot with IRTA as a partnership, marketing wise. As you guys know, there's a lot of mail, and she's, this woman is already, she goes, yes, I've been receiving the mail. Somewhat, concerned there's so much mail that comes through, but, every now and then she goes, it seems like about every third letter I open, and I always seem to find something that interests me. And, we're rotating that mailing every single month with a different subject. And also about promoting the Illinois retired teachers and making sure people know why it's important for them to be a member. Being able to share the technology and the things that we do today, most importantly, member engagement, acquiring new members, and then retaining them. And the way that we're really doing that is through all the discount programs that you guys know, the ways that they can save money, and then being able to have the opportunity to prevent, people potentially losing value in the pension that they work so hard for. So that's where we have programs that are designed to kind of fill in the gaps of health insurance with supplementary benefits and various types of insurance. And lo and behold, it was not very difficult to convince her of all the great things that the Illinois Retired Teachers Association does for them. Being their pension watchdog, provider of health benefits, et cetera. And she just became a member last night. So I was very excited to share that with you. And the other thing I want to share with you is kind of a reminder of our two field market leaders, Nancy Kramer. Nancy Kramer handles the majority of the western part of the state and a very good portion, obviously, of the northern part of the state, and a portion of central Illinois as well. Nancy has been with our company for 15 years. Many of you know her. We're going to be getting these posted as local AMBA resources up on your IRTA website. So, you know, she can always arrange, we have 7 different speaking topics now available from 7 to 15 minutes that we could do at any one of your unit meetings. And we are also, let me just scan down here for a second. Sorry about that. Doing lunch and learn seminars for new member prospecting. So, you know, AMBA can host a lunch and learn seminar in your area. We have several different topics available for you as well. And then we also have our newest field market leader, Jenny Deal. And many of you will be meeting Jenny very, very soon. She's awesome and amazing, just like Nancy is. And Jenny kind of took over for Gary DeVito's territory, as Gary DeVito, many of you who know, has now moved into our financial services division. So Gary is still with the company, but Jenny is going to be an amazing partner with Nancy handling the state. Jenny's territory is also up the northern part of the state. She has a lot of central Illinois and a lot of southern Illinois as well. And the way you guys will be able to determine who has which county, we put together this really nice little map here that within a few weeks, once we're done with all the area meetings, we're going to work to get this posted up permanently on the website. And as changes are made for counties or whatever, we'll keep it updated for you. But Nancy's counties are all in the blue, Jenny's are all in the red. As you can see, if you take a look at a county like Cook County or Will County, some of the larger ones, McHenry is shared. And those are, you know, DuPage is shared, Kane is shared as well. And we have all the zip codes broken out. So anyone will be able to find who they need to contact. And then, of course, we'll be able to look up, you know, whether it's Jenny or Nancy for them to work with, especially when it comes to being able to speak at your local unit meetings. So we're excited about that. I'm going to go back to unshare here. And I will be available in breakout rooms afterwards if anybody has any questions or they want to make arrangements to get in contact with either Nancy or with Jenny. Look forward to being able to continue this partnership. Really appreciate everything that all of you do for us at AMBA as well. And now I'm going to kick it over to Liz Vogt at the Illinois Department on Aging. So thank you very much.
My name is Liz Vogt, Senior Policy Advisor at the Illinois Department on Aging. The Illinois Department on Aging is a state agency, and our mission is to serve and advocate for older Illinoisans and their caregivers by administering quality and culturally appropriate programs that promote partnerships and encourage independence, dignity, and quality of life. One of the best ways to get in touch with the Illinois Department on Aging is through our senior helpline. The number is 1-800-252-8966. On Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., our staff will be able to answer your phone calls and your questions. You can also reach us by email if it's after 5 or before 8 a.m. Another way to learn about IDOA programs and services is through our website. You can find us at ilaging.illinois.gov. When you visit our Illinois Department on Aging website, you'll notice a service locator. Because our aging network services are broken down by regional areas in the state, we have a handy map on our website that allows you to search for programs and services delivered by our aging network partners that are provided in your neighborhood. The Illinois Department on Aging and our aging network partners come together to deliver a variety of programs and services in all areas of the state of Illinois. Some of the programs and services that we're going to talk about today are listed here on the slide and include services and programs delivered by our AAAs or our area agencies on aging, our community care program, our adult protective services program, our ombudsman programs, our benefit access program, and the senior health insurance program, or SHIP for short. So we're going to start off by learning about our AAAs, or our Area Agencies on Aging. There are 13 area agencies on aging throughout the state of Illinois, and each area agency on aging represents a geographic area in the state. So they're responsible for planning and coordinating programs for the older adults in their geographic area. AAAs will serve all older adults age 60 and over, but their primary focus is on those older adults who have the greatest economic or greatest social need. AAAs in and of themselves are typically not direct service providers. They have contracts throughout their communities with community service providers who deliver those services to our older adults throughout the community. So some of the programs and services that a AAA may offer through a funded partner include things like nutrition services. So we know some older adults are not able to cook for themselves anymore, or may not have a family member or a friend close by. And our AAAs really step in to meet those nutritional gaps. They do this through home delivered meals. So a local provider will deliver a hot, nutritious, balanced meal to the door of an older adult. Depending on the older adult's schedule, it can be every day, Monday through Friday, or those select days that they're in need of that meal. Our AAAs also offer congregate dining opportunities. This isn't just a place where older adults come together to have a meal, but also they have the ability to socialize with each other and to engage in activities and come together as a community for opportunities that really combat loneliness and social isolation, in addition to the nutritious meal that they're served. We also, through our AAAs, provide counseling or nutritional counseling to help educate older adults on what types of food are fuel for their bodies, what types of foods they should be eating based on nutritional, medical conditions. And the older adults have the ability to work with our dietitians to develop those meal plans and that education. Other programs include respite. So respite is traditionally a service for a caregiver. If a caregiver, a primary family member, a caregiver is taking care of an older adult family member, but maybe they need to run a few errands, or maybe they're having a doctor's appointment or a surgery or an unexpected health event. Respite provides services to relieve the caregiver. Transportation is offered through our AAAs as well. This includes transportation that an older adult may arrange with a provider to take them to doctor's appointments or to run errands or those types of things. We also have senior centers through our AAAs, and senior centers are a place where older adults gather in a community for activities and socialization. AAAs also offer evidence-based health programming for exercise programs, activity programs, stress busting programs, and really importantly, loop in our caregivers as well. So we know that caregivers often have a lot of responsibility on their plates. And so our AAAs have services and supports directly designed for our caregivers to help them ensure that they're in a healthy shape, both mentally and physically, and are able to keep on with their caregiving duties. Lastly, another area, legal assistance. If an older adult or their family needs assistance obtaining legal documentation or with powers of attorney or those sorts of things, the AAAs are the place to contact to be referred to a legal assistance provider. On our website, you'll see this map as well. We at the Department on Aging break our state down into geographic regions that are called planning and service areas, or PSAs for short. So the main thing that you need to know is you find your community located in the state of Illinois, and you'll know, for instance, I live in Menard County, so we're in PSA 7, and I can find all of the information about the providers and programs that are available to me in PSA 7 through the link and the map on our website. The next program we're going to talk about that is delivered through the Illinois Department on Aging is the Community Care Program. The Community Care Program is a Medicaid waiver program that is designed to give older adults the ability and independence to stay at home and age in place versus entering a nursing facility for care. The eligibility criteria for this program includes being age 60 or above, having an assessed need for long-term care. There's an assessment that is performed by our care coordinators called the determination of need. And that care coordinator, based on that assessment, can determine if your functional level is such that you would qualify for long-term care services. You also have to be a resident of the state of Illinois. You have to be a U.S. citizen or fall into an eligible immigration status. You have to have non-exempt assets that are less than $17,500. So this is separate and apart from a primary home, a car, those sorts of assets. And you also have to apply for, and if eligible, enroll in the Medicaid program. So those are the eligibility criteria, but what does the program actually offer you? There are 4 services that fall under our community care program. In-home service. So this is a home care aide who comes to your home on a routine basis and helps you with activities of daily living. This could include things like bathing or dressing, grooming. It could include meal preparation and taking you to doctor's appointments and some of your laundry and light housework. There's also adult day service. So just as we talked about our senior centers under our AAA funded programs, our community care program, or CCP for short, offers adult day service. And again, this is where older adults come together at a location within their community for activities and socialization. And this can also be considered a form of respite. So if a primary family caregiver must go to work during the day and they're concerned that their older adult loved one is home all by themselves, adult day service may be a great option for that older adult, that they can go to their adult day center, they can have nutritious meals, they can socialize and do activities, and also have the ability to get their medications that they may need throughout the day. The last 2 service areas are emergency home response service. So think about the button that you can press either on a pendant or on your wrist that may alert someone if you have fallen, if you've had an emergency and you can't get to your phone, and you need help, you need assistance. The last service area is called automatic medication dispenser service. And this is a tool that's used to help with medication adherence so that older adults remember to take their medications on time and in the right dose. You can access our community care program and all of these services through a care coordination unit. And there are care coordination units located throughout the state of Illinois in your geographic area, and you can find your respective care coordination unit through the link on the screen. Our next program area is adult protective services. Now, you all as teachers may be very familiar with the reporting requirements for children who may be abused or neglected and what that means and who to call and when to call. This Illinois Department on Aging operates a similar program for our older adults and adults with disabilities through our Adult Protective Services program. This program is locally coordinated through 36 provider agencies. And once a complaint is made, a caseworker will investigate the allegation, will coordinate with local service delivery options to mitigate risk and ensure that that older adult is safe and that they are taken care of. So if you have an individual who you're concerned, maybe a neighbor, a family member, a friend, where something is just not right with the situation, if you suspect that there's abuse, neglect, exploitation, or even self-neglect, you can call our Adult Protective Services hotline at 1-866-800-1409 to make a report and to get a case worker there to intervene and to determine what's going on and to really place supportive resources around that older adult. Our next program area are ombudsman programs. So this is a strange term. Not many people are familiar with the term ombudsman, but we have two programs. And an ombudsman, really, if you think about it, it's an advocate for, in the case of our long-term care ombudsman, an advocate for an older adult who lives in a nursing facility or other long-term care facility setting. So an ombudsman can either respond to complaints or to concerns by the resident, him or herself, or a family member who's concerned about a resident. They will go into the nursing facility and talk to that resident and understand what's going on and how that resident, him or herself, wants the situation resolved. So the ombudsman acts as an extension of the resident to help that resident advocate for themselves, to address concerns, and to put into place a solution that meets the resident's expectations. If you have any older adults in your life who reside in a long-term care facility setting and you're concerned about their care, you can always call our long-term care ombudsman program at 1-800-252-8966 or by emailing them at the email address on the screen. Our next ombudsman program is called our home care ombudsman. And so just like our long-term care ombudsman really focuses on residents of facilities in Illinois, our home care ombudsman really advocates for older adults and adults with disabilities who live at home in the community. In order to be eligible and to have a home care ombudsman act on your behalf, you have to live in the community, you have to be enrolled in one of the MMAI or Medicare Medicaid Alignment Initiative plans, and you have to be participating in one of the waiver programs on the screen. And if this is the case, a home care ombudsman can intervene on your behalf. They can again, address concerns, advocate for you to ensure that the services and programs that you need are put into place and can address any other outstanding problems that you're experiencing with your services. You can reach the home care ombudsman again at the 1-800 number or by email at the email address on the screen. Our Benefit Access Program, or BAA for short, the name doesn't really give it as much credit as it's due. It is a program designed to give older adults and adults with disabilities discounts or free passes for fixed rate transit systems in Illinois, as well as discounts on license plates for vehicles in Illinois. The Illinois Department on Aging, we administer the application process for this program. And if you're interested, you can apply on our website. You'll also see on our screen some of the eligibility criteria. This is a program for lower income older adults and adults with disabilities. So there are income requirements and age requirements as well. But if this is something that you or one of your loved ones may be interested in, I would encourage you to complete an application on our website. And last but certainly not least, we offer the Senior Health Insurance Program, or SHIP for short. SHIP is an excellent program and really helps older adults and their family members navigate the complex world of health insurance coverage as an older adult. So not just Medicare coverage, but questions about supplements or long-term care insurance, or how one program or policy interacts with another policy or plan. These SHIP counselors, as they're called, are independent. They're there to provide you with factual and up-to-date information and really help you navigate and make the best choice in health coverage for your specific situation. I can't stress it enough. My parents turned Medicare eligible within the last couple of years and found such benefit in having that independent third-party, really trusted source of information to consult with, to kind of walk you through, does it make sense to sign up for a Medicare Advantage plan, or do I want to stick with regular Medicare, or do I need a supplement or a long-term care plan, or all of those things when we think about planning for the future. So this is a really valuable program. You can speak to someone over the phone, or there are SHIP counselors located throughout the state that can meet with you in person, face to face. You can reach out either by email or at the 1-800 number on the screen to be connected to our SHIP program. And with that, I just wanted to mention that, this is a snapshot of some of our most popular programs and services. I would encourage you to visit our website or to give our senior helpline a call if you have any questions or, have requests for more information. Our team will be happy to talk with you and make referrals to programs in your local area or provide you with that information that you're looking for. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate your time so much and look forward to serving you at the Illinois Department on Aging.
Well, that does it for today. I hope everyone can hear me. First, I would like to apologize for not including in my thank yous Rainey Kaplan, who is just a year from having retired, jumping in and becoming vice president of IRTA. I mean, you are absolutely amazing, Rainey, and I do apologize for not having you in my thank you list. And anyone else who I may have missed, I also apologize for that. So I hope you enjoy your summer solstice today. That happens like at around 3:50 or something like that. And I hope you stay cool and that you have a wonderful summer. And if there's anything I can do for any of your units, to please let me know. So thank you so much for attending today's Area 2 virtual conference. And I hope you found all of this wonderful information so valuable for all of us. And so now I encourage you to connect, socialize, and ask questions in the breakout rooms. And so if you go at the bottom of your screen, it says breakout rooms, and there's 4 little squares. So if you go there, you can find out information from some of our speakers who are still here. And I hope that you, like I said, have a wonderful summer. So just click on those breakout rooms and then select which one. And you can also go to other ones after you have your question answered or find out your information. So thank you again for this enjoyable day, and always be supportive of IRTA and getting those new members, getting new people in leadership, and finding out all of these wonderful things. So have a great day. Thank you.